All right, so today we're going to be focusing in on the point slope formula. So we've already taken a look at two other ways that data could be represented to us. We've already looked at it, that it can be given to us in standard form, which was ax plus by equals c. And we've also now looked at it in slope-intercept form. And we've learned with slope-intercept form that that's y equals mx plus b. So each of these forms lends itself to certain things. Well, today we're going to now look at it with point slope formula. So by the guess of the name, we're going to use this formula if I am given a point and the slope. So here's where I have the slope and the y-intercept. Here's where I have a point and the slope. So the formula of this is y minus y1. Okay, so y1 is a value plus m is a value, times the quantity of x minus x1. Again, x1 is a value. All right, so each of the items that are listed there are going to have a purpose. So the x and the y are going to stay exactly as they are. Notice we have subtraction throughout this problem. And then we have x1 and y1 and m, and each of those are going to change the numbers, hence where we have point slope formula. So in this first piece, we're going to look at several examples. So we're going to take a look at just plain old inserting it into the formula. All right, so we're going to take a look here. I'm given the slope is 5/2, and I have the point of -3, 0. So we're going to utilize our formula. All right, so I'm going to actually start off with the formula written again. So it says y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1, close quantity. And so we're going to go ahead through and now replace our pieces. So again, y stays just as it is as y. My minus stays as minus. And so now we got to replace that y1. So I'm going to go into what's given to me, and we're going to remember that this is x and that this is y. So y1 is my y value, so I'm going to plug in a 0. Now I'm going to wrap him in parentheses just in case it would affect this negative sign. My equal sign stays as is. My m is a value that I steal, so remember m is slope. So I'm going to steal my 5/2. Remember then x stays as is. My minus sign stays in, and then I plug in x1, which in this case is a -3. Now notice I led with parentheses. I'm dealing with a quantity. And then I wrapped my value in parentheses also. So I actually put a double parenthesis because I still have to close out that. And so now I'm going to solve, or I'm going to complete the process here. And what I mean by solving is we need to change any signs and remove any parentheses that are internal. So here we're going to keep y minus 0. We're going to keep our equal sign. We're going to keep our 5/2, parentheses, x. Then we remember a negative and a negative make a positive. So this data, the slope of 5/2 and the point -3, 0, results in this form. All right, now you might go, oh my goodness, why? Well, we're able to pull information from this. All right, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. So now let's take a look at the next one. And then we're going to kind of take a look at what we see in common and what we don't. All right, so here we're going to fill in our formula again. So I already have it written up here. All right, so I'm not going to rewrite it again. I can just follow along. But here I have that the slope is -7 and that I have a point that is 4, 2. So notice my point is positive, positive. My formula is minus, minus. So my resulting formula should still keep my minus, minus. All right, and we're going to keep taking a look at this through this. So let's take a look. So we lead with y minus. So y minus. I need my y1 value. So if I need to, I label my x and my y just in case I've forgotten. So my y1 in this case is what number? Yes, it is the 2. I bring my equal sign down. So now I need my slope. So my slope we said was -7. Right? I have my quantity and my x minus, and then I need to replace it with my x value, which we see here is the number 4. And ta-da, there is my final answer. So it's not meant to be difficult by any means. All right? It's just a process of making sure we're plugging in the correct values. All right, so go ahead and complete C and complete the you-do, and let's see what you end up with. So go ahead and pause the video if you need for time to work. All right, so let's check our answers here. We should have had y minus 1 equals 2 times the quantity of x minus a half. And then for the you-do, we should have ended up with y plus 3, because this was a negative and a negative made a positive, equals 0 times the quantity of x plus 2. Again, negative and negative make a positive. All right. At this time, if you have any questions or concerns, please make sure you're commenting. Okay. And then we're going to take a look at then our next example. So our next example is talking about using the information from the formula. So I'm already given the formula filled in. So now I need to take this information and I need to be able to graph from it. I need to be able to pull information from it. Okay, so a couple of things that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to pull the slope, and we're going to need to pull at least 1 point from it. All right, so again, if I have the equation underneath this, remember this is supposed to be y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. All right, so we're kind of taking a look and we're seeing everything that matches up. So y and y match, my minus and minus match, which means my 1 is my y1. So if I write my m equals, and I have my coordinate already written, my y value is the number 1. I then go through a match equal sign. My m matches up with the number 3, so that means my slope is 3. Or 3 over 1, because again we're graphing, so we want to kind of take a look at it as a fraction. Parenthesis x minus sign, so because these minus signs are actually